Hey everybody, it's Alexia from amysticspath back with another weekly energy video for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now, I want to kind of just dive in and let you guys know what it is that I see for this week and how we need to work with it for our best benefit for our lives. Now, when I'm looking at the energy of this week, I'm kind of feeling the energy of things coming together in duality and what you've been seeking you in return, and that almost that we will start to see the efforts or the confirmation that things are kind of coming together and the connection within that. Okay, so we may be feeling that like things are starting to change and starting to come together, or we might not be able to see it yet. There might be a little bit more breakdowns happening. And this is because things are trying to kind of shift and work to come together. And often when we see the energies of things coming together, we may not wholly be able to see it in our atmosphere because things are working to start to come together. So for some of us, things have kind of came together, and for the rest of us, things are really starting to begin to come together, and the connection within that, almost like the harmony within what you're seeking is seeking you in a good way, so it's coming to return to you in a good way, if that is making sense. Now, the first spot that we get is, how will this energy affect us the most? And we have the Seven of Wands, the Five of Fire, and the Hugan of Petro. And this is really saying that this energy is working to kind of ignite you in a way that you are ready to kind of pull yourself up out of the space that you've been in. Maybe you've been overwhelmed. Maybe that has caused, a little bit of agitation within the self. Maybe it's caused a little bit of depression. Maybe it's caused you to not be as balanced as you would like to. And this energy is kind of working in a space to kind of push you and pull you to kind of pull yourself up out of that spot from feeling like you've got too much going on, or feeling like you're drowning, and really get back a hold of yourself and be able to pull yourself up and pick yourself up and kind of get out of the unbalanced mental/emotional state that you may be in. Now, how this energy is going to affect us mentally, we have the Two of Pentacles, as well as messages from air. And this is showing that you have been trying to work to try to stay on top of things and keep your energy just flowing. But this is also saying that we need to kind of let our brain relax a little bit to be able to have our crown chakra be open, to be able to receive some messages and some ideas that is kind of trying to filter in to our mental space, that there may be some things that are trying to kind of come in, or there may be an answer to a problem that you've been having, or just, you may be looking for that next step or that next thing that you're supposed to be doing. Make sure that you just are keeping your mental state open so these things can kind of filter through, and you can kind of look at the ideas and the information that is coming through, and you can pick and see what is right for you, or if you want to do anything with it. But there is potential and opportunity here, so please remain at least open to that. Now, excuse me, how this energy is going to affect us emotionally, we have the Page of Swords and the Ten of Fire. And I feel like a lot of you are walking into new territory right now, that you're kind of like Page of Swords energy. You don't really know 100% what to expect. You're kind of just getting out of this like a little hot air balloon. You're in a new environment in some way, shape, or form in your life. And there is some fear of what kind of obstacles are you going to come across, in this new territory, in this new situation. But the thing is that, yes, there may be some new obstacles that arise that you have to kind of get over, but this is, again, new territory. So you have really no training, or if not any. So you really are only going off of what you're trying to do. So knowing that you don't actually have all of the answers, and that you kind of just have to go with the flow and see what is presented to you as it comes, and that it's nothing more or less of how prepared you are. It's just that there's some things that are going to come up that you may not expect, and it's not to kind of get beat up or defeated about. It's just the fact that you are in a place of new territory. Some things may seem scarier than what they actually are, but nevertheless, you have more than enough capability to get over these obstacles, just like you have in any of the other obstacles that you've already conquered up until this point. It just seems more scary to you because it is a new territory. It is something different and something fresh. So don't let that discourage you. Let's get out of the cycle of letting our fear stop our progression. Okay? Now, how this energy, or how we need to work with this energy for our best benefit. And we have the Four of Cups as well as karma. And this is saying not to get stagnant, not to let yourself get into a place where you that you're like, okay, this is good enough, so you're falling short of everything that you hope to accomplish or want to accomplish. That it's that you don't reach this peak phase that you're like, okay, well, I guess this is good enough, and that you're not really trying to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life, because and almost like that we need to kind of remain motivated while we have the time to kind of set out to do what it is that we want to do. Don't fall short for on yourself because you feel like it's silly that that is a goal for you, or that you have some form of self-doubt that is like, oh, you're silly to think that you can even accomplish this and any of that. And don't fall into the category of, okay, well, I guess this is enough, so I should be grateful, when in reality you feel like you should be doing so much more, you should be achieving so much more. And that is because you have that pull, that drive for that. So why would you settle for anything less than what it is that your heart's desire is, and what it is that you've set your mind on, just because it might vibe with the situation that you're in currently? Because not always, things don't always make sense. And when we want to bring something in that isn't currently in, we obviously have to shift things and change things to let that come in. So don't settle for what it is. Like, don't settle for something that seems good in the moment or seems easy to take on, because it might be good enough for others if it's not good enough for you down to your core. Not saying that not saying anything in a bad way, but if it's not something that is fulfilling to your soul, it's not fulfilling, even though it might be fulfilling to somebody else's. So make sure that you're not falling short, or again, kind of settling, and that you set out to achieve everything that it is that you want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, and I always say this, at least at the end of the day, you know that you tried. Where are you going to be at if you never try? Okay. Now, the conclusion cards that we get for this spread is the Moon card, as well as the Sun. And this is saying that ideally our emotions can kind of cloud our clarity and being able to see clearly, and they can also block our motivation and our will and our drive. And on another note, our desires a lot are rooted from our emotion, and are like, they kind of come from the same place, right? And because the moon rules our desires and our emotions, and our desires are also what is lighting up our path that we have to then be able to act on in the like under the masculine light, right? The sun, the daytime, okay? And not to let your emotions cloud that clarity of your desires, because it's kind of like, you always have that fear that kind of just tries to sweep in and creep in. And if you haven't built up a strong boundary within yourself, that's like a buffer to that. And even if you have, sometimes it kind of sneaks over and sneaks in. The moon is seeking to illuminate our desires, but we have to also realize that it's going to illuminate our fears too. So not to get lost within that we have to have that masculine energy from the sun, that clarity that is coming in to our mental state, to be able to see the path that is lit up and what it is that we want to accomplish, and be able to have the clarity to kind of buffer out those emotions that kind of bring in that fear, that's kind of work to destroy us before we ever even get started, or if we do get started, that it kind of pushes us back, and we want to eliminate that. Now, the supporting message that I pulled, the cards that I got is Ogun, Shango, Oraite, and Simbi La Flambeau. And there is so much masculine energy encompassed in this. And again, I just want to say that a lot of us are really, really entering into brand new territories. And that is what these cards are speaking of, because when we have the card of Ogun, we really see that it is time for us to kind of stand up and fight for what it is that we want within our lives and what it is that we want to claim and all that we have set out to do. And that Shango speaks of actually coming to the point where you are making the decision without looking back, and that you are declaring what it is that you are doing, whether that is, again, bringing something in that you have been seeking. This can be something in the physical, this could be a job, this could be a relationship, or this could be your inner healing that you are doing for yourself, regardless, across the board, whatever your situation is, right? And that we see that you're making the decision, you're not looking back, you are standing firm. And when you come to a place of saying this, there's no coming back, because you are stepping up and stepping into your power and really owning yourself and your confidence in all that you're trying to do. So then you can kind of leave this state, this perpetuated state that you've been in, that's been kind of consumed in fire and ash and not seeing things clearly, or just not seeing a way out. And that you can really take your power back and really begin to set course for what it is that you want. Is it a job you're bringing in? Is it a relationship? Is it something, a new career path? Is it your own internal healing and what you want to accomplish within that? Whatever it is for you. Okay, we just got to make sure that we are stepping into this new territory and stepping into new cycles, and one that we're not encased in letting our fear dictate all that we can do and all that we accomplish, and that you're really pulling yourself out from feeling like you're drowning or suffocating or can't breathe or can't get your footing. Okay, remember to keep your mind open, and that when you do come across obstacles, it's not because you're falling short or because you're not doing a good enough job. It is because you are in new territory and you didn't have you didn't have everything, like all the answers. So some things are going to come in and kind of surprise you, or it might be an obstacle that you have to come over, or something that you just didn't see that you have to kind of work around. Whatever that case may be, just know that it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's just because it's new territory and you don't have all of the answers. And please don't fall short of your goals and what it is that you want to do just because something seems good in the moment. And remember to really look at your desires and see what it is that you want, and kind of be able to push away that fear that kind of tries to slide in, and own yourself. Okay, now I hope that this video is helpful for everyone, and if you feel that you need a reading specifically for yourself, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'd love to work with you. Everybody have a great day.